sedans are not dead.
Okay, based on sales data, Americans definitely prefer SUVs these days, and the full-size sedan category is coughing up blood, but focus your gaze on the 8th generation Hyundai Sonata, and you'd think mid-size sedan land was as lush and thriving as ever. I promise we'll dig into real substance, including some very cool features shortly, but let's start with trivial aesthetics.
Normally I like you to come to your own stylistic conclusions, but there are some details on the exterior of the Sonata that I really like. Specifically, this chrome strip right here. In this region, when you turn the car on, hit it, James, it turns into a lighting element, giving the Sonata a very distinct face even during the daytime. The other detail I really love is around the side. This body line right here uses varying width to give the illusion of depth. It makes you think there's a Coke bottle shape when actually there isn't. There's just a varying width style line. I am a huge fan of visual trickery. For example, here's the ball. Where'd it go? It's behind your ear. Thank you for enduring my one magic trick.
Inside, the Sonata walks a narrow line, offering an unfussy layout elevated by strategic visual flair. These streaks of metallic trim recall the Sonata's chrome exterior treatment, helping unify the inside with the outside. To my eyes, the cabin looks stylish while avoiding gimmickry. Take a moment to form your own opinion. It doesn't hurt to look good, but what really matters is quality and functionality. On the first score, the materials look nice, with a pleasing ratio of soft to hard surfaces.
According to my all-important Elbow Comfort Index, the Hyundai Sonata ranks an ergonomically excellent squirrel. The armrests are well padded and wide and nicely positioned. I do have a weird nitpick though. So the door handle, and this is only because I was in here, the vehicle was off, and I happened to be very quiet. There's some friction here, if you listen. That feels a little unintentional, like something's rubbing in here. I don't know if that's going to slowly drive me crazy or if it's really not that big a deal. Maybe I was already crazy.
Perhaps the most interesting aspect of the interior is how, despite increasing vehicle complexity, Hyundai managed to make an instrument panel that's so uncomplicated. Look at the climate and seat controls. 2 knobs, 6 buttons, 4 toggles. Simple yet functional. Plus, I'm awarding bonus points for Auto Mode's 3 fan speeds that let occupants dial in their ideal breeze. What can I say? I like a lot of wind. All the other major interactions happen through a standard 8-inch or optional 10.25-inch infotainment display.
The interface is easy to explore and reacts with haste. Look at how quickly I can pinch and zoom on this nav display. Whoa! Yeah, although I will say that yesterday while using Apple CarPlay, the whole thing froze up for a good 10 Mississippi. I'm guessing that was a one-off.
On that note, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto smartphone connectivity come standard, as they should. Heads up, steering wheel aside, you'll have to use these capacitive controls to skip tracks or scan radio stations. On the other hand, there is a volume knob, which we all recognize as an irreplaceable necessity. Right, Honda? Another notable feature of the Sonata's cabin is the push-button transmission selector.
Traditionalists might prefer a lever, but the button setup takes up less space. It enables a feature we're going to talk about in a little bit, and by banishing the park button over to its own little island, it makes it pretty easy to distinguish between drive, neutral, and reverse. I still haven't found the button that makes James shut up.
Hey, what are you talking about? Is that the right? No, the N means no. No. No, Micah. No.
In terms of passenger space, the Sonata is amply accommodating. The seats are comfortably shaped, I have more than enough legroom in back, and thanks to a contoured headliner, my head clears, just barely. Quick reminder, I'm a completely average 5'10" with a long torso.
I do have a question about the front seat. Even in the lowest position, it seemed like headroom might be tight for taller people. This is why we keep James around. James, how tall are you?
This tall.
Good enough. How do you fit in the front seat of the Sonata? Does your head hit the headliner? Let's find out. Is it okay?
3 fingers.
3 fingers. Okay.
For gear hauling, the Sonata's trunk is generously proportioned at 16.3 cubic feet. Just keep in mind, these gooseneck hinges might squeeze your gear if it's stacked high.
2 more trunk notes. The Sonata has a system where if you stay here for 3 seconds, the trunk will automatically open. You can turn it off, but I think it's really cool. The other neat thing is there is a secret release. Tim, get over here. Can you find the secret release on the Hyundai Sonata? Do you know the secret?
I do.
You do?
I do.
Do it, do it! You knew it eventually.
I knew it, yeah.
Yeah. Secret release.
All right, let's talk about how the Sonata drives. To start, along with a generally transparent 8-speed automatic transmission, there are two 4-cylinder engines, a 2.5-liter for lower trims and a 1.6-liter turbo for higher trims. Huh, that's interesting. The fancier engine has 11 fewer horses, but a superior torque figure.
And in normal driving, it's torque that gives you satisfying immediate thrust when you press the accelerator.
That said, in addition to more horsepower, the base engine is also more efficient than the 1.6-liter turbo, meaning there is no shame in driving the base engine. In typical Hyundai fashion, there are several drive modes. Smart automatically adapts steering and powertrain behavior based on how you've been driving recently. Custom lets you dial in your preferred settings. Sport is, well, sporty. And Normal is...
Well, actually, normal feels a little lethargic. When I first got into the Sonata, it felt like I had to prod the accelerator more than expected to get it moving, but I am slowly adapting.
One major improvement with the latest Sonata is steering feel. It has a smooth, consistent, direct quality that contrasts very nicely with the uncommunicative Sonatas of the past. Mix in composed cornering traits, excellent feeling brakes, and a suspension that tames uncivilized tarmac, and the Sonata stands as a well-rounded, enjoyable driving sedan.
To that, I will add, unlike a lot of modern cars, visibility from the driver's seat is excellent thanks to rear quarter windows and pillars that are reasonably sized. And just for fun, let's see how fast we can go through this corner. Let's see. That was pretty good. Tim, are you scared?
Scared.
Good enough to scare Tim, good enough to make me happy.
Keep things cheap, and for about $24.5 grand, including destination charges, you'll get a base Sonata SE trim featuring a lengthy 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty and a full suite of active driver assists like lane following with collision avoidance assist, forward collision warning with automatic emergency braking, and full-speed adaptive cruise control. That said, if you can afford an extra $2,100, the SEL adds some nice options, including keyless access with push-button start, heated front seats, a rear seat armrest, an 8-way power driver seat, and blind spot monitoring. In the further reaches of the trim lineup, you'll find indulgences like wireless phone charging, blind view imagery that pops up in the gauge cluster, a 360-degree camera system with a bunch of different angles, very cool, rear vents that really should be standard, a vivid 12.3-inch digital gauge cluster as seen on the Hyundai Palisade, kapow! A panoramic sunroof with a weirdly quick and very appreciated cover, and a digital key that lets you access the vehicle with a card, like your hotel room at the Radisson, or using your phone, but only if you've got an Android phone. Boo!
Reserved for the limited trim is a feature called Remote Start Parking Assist. Think Tesla's summon system, but applied to a car that's not electric. I've had better luck if I hit the lock button first and then hit the hold button. This should start the engine. There it goes. And then you have two buttons on here to back it out or pull it into a tight spot. Let's see what happens. Does the system work? There she goes. Any second now. And just to show you it's safe, I'm gonna go stand behind this thing and see what happens. Come on, Sonata. Is that all you got? Come on, kill me. That worked great.
Another high-end feature offered on the Sonata is Highway Drive Assist. The system automatically adjusts speed, even in stop-and-go traffic, and reads road markers to keep the vehicle in the center of its lane.
At freeway speeds, the steering makes many more corrections than a competent driver would, but for mindlessly cruising, Highway Drive Assist works great. And if anything, all those little corrections remind you that you're sitting in a box hurtling down the freeway at 100 feet per second. It sounds terrifying, doesn't it?
While talking about terrifying sounds, I have to mention Sounds of Nature, a relaxing feature included with the optional nav system.
Can you imagine putting that on if a passenger really had to go pee? No, we'll get there soon. It's fine, it's fine. No, you'll be okay. It's not too far out.
James, on a scale of 1 to 10, how calm do you feel? Is that 1-0 because you're so calm?
Outfit the top Sonata limited trim like a baller, and the price peaks slightly higher than $33,000. Where entry prices are concerned, the Hyundai Sonata undercuts the Honda Accord and Toyota Camry. On that note, the midsize sedan field offers plenty of choices. Want something sportier? Try the Mazda 6. Need all-wheel drive? There's the Subaru Legacy. Want to blend in with the background and gently float over bumps? Maybe consider the VW Passat, if you can get a deal on one. I'll also quickly mention that as of when this video was shot, sport and hybrid Sonatas were still in the pipeline.
As stated up front, Americans love their SUVs, but sedans still have their place. They're more efficient and they're more fun to drive. If you're looking to buy a sedan, the Hyundai Sonata is arguably the best of the breed.